Hi, welcome back to English 111 Online. This week we're going to mostly work on the Core Project 3, the Evaluative Annotated Bibliography. And hopefully last week you were able to find 4 sources, 3 more in addition to the one that I gave you from the Global Goals webpage. That you can use to do this project. So even though you're not finished researching for Core Project 4, the research paper that we're going to write, you should have enough sources that you can finish up your Core Project 3, the Evaluative Annotated Bibliography this week. So that is due this week. So let's just take a look, review the assignment document for Project 3. And the directions use the same MLA format that you would use for an essay, Times New Roman 12-point font, double line spacing. That's the formatting of it. Create a citation for each source you use in Core Project 4. I've given you examples of that in the slideshow, and we'll take a look at that again in just a minute. And for any information, remember, for any information you don't have an MLA format for those citations, you just skip it and include the next thing that you do have. But I'm going to show you again, I already showed it to you last week, but I'm going to show you again the annotated paragraph for your first entry, that Global Goals webpage. The next thing, okay, pardon me, I had a little interruption there for a minute, but I gave you an example last time, and I shared that example again in the journal that you did last week, getting your resources together. So hopefully this will make even more sense this week as we finish it up. Your paragraph that goes underneath each MLA cited source that you have, you want to be able to explain what this web page or what this article, news story, whatever it happens to be, is. And you want to instruct about what authority, by what authority does this website or this organization or this person, if you actually have a name associated with an article, by what authority do they put this information out there and makes it suitable for a college research paper. So, and then how are you going to use it in your research paper? So I'm hoping that now you see how it's all tying together with Project 4, but we're going to finish up Project 3 and this week and get it out of the way. Just to remind you, I put another example here in this instruction, but I like the one that I did better in the slideshow presentation, and we'll look at that again in just a minute. Here's the rubric for grading this assignment: 20 points for each part, the introduction in your format, your annotated bibliography 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. There it is on the next page. So 20 points a piece for the 4, that's 80, and then 20 points for your paragraph. And I'm going to show you how to do the paragraph this week also. Well, let's take another look back at the slideshow that you saw last week. It's I brought it down for this week. And let's just look at slide 8 that has the one that I did for you for for the global goal. Of course, you would put your goal, whichever number it is, and the name of it, and that would be in quotation marks. And notice that even on the web page, if it had it in lowercase words, we want to capitalize this for MLA format, just as we would creating our own title, which means always first word and last word in a title, and then all the other words are capitalized except conjunctions like and here, and in there twice, so they're not capitalized. The other things that are not capitalized are short pronouns like in and to and on and for. And the third thing that is the exception for capitalization in a title is you do not want to include or capitalize the articles, which are a, an, and the. So, but go ahead and capitalize it the way it should be in your works cited entry. Then we get the name of the website where you found it, and I'm assuming that all of you are doing your research online. If you're not, then you have to do it in a different way. But it would be the publisher of the book or whatever, but I feel like most people are doing their research online, so name of the website. That is in italics. And then we have the URL, which you will copy from your browser, and then the date that you accessed it at the time that you're writing, that you found it, and that you're writing your annotation for it. Then the annotation goes right under it. Notice this is all double line space because the whole document is Times New Roman 12-point font, double line space. And then this blue part here is by what authority does UN.org put this information out there. And so if you, in doing this first one, the one that you started with from the Sustainable Development Goals webpage, if you want to use my words, I give you permission to use my words. After the blue part, you're down to the part where you're going to give a summary of what is on that page, just the main points that are on the page. You're not going to give specific data. You're not going to use quotations from the page or the article. You're just going to summarize it. And then in this purple part here at the bottom, you're going to say how it was helpful to you in your research paper, or how it will be helpful to you in your research paper when we write that. So I had a student ask me this week after I'd already been over this, how is all this related? I still am not sure how Core Project 3 and Core Project 4 is related. Well, it's related because you're doing the research on the same topic for both. It's just that this is like your, or going to be similar to your works cited page you're going to have for your essay, except it has annotation added to it. So anyway, if you want to go back and look at that again, you can. But I have other information available on this week's page that will also help you. There is a document, a template that is there for you to use to look at the format. So here's just an example, and don't forget to, actually that should have a page number after it. Don't forget to insert your page number and add your last name in front of it, because this is going to be more than one page by the time you're finished. You're going to put your research topic, which is whichever goal you have, a colon, and then you're going to put the words annotated bibliography, or if you call it annotated works cited, just be consistent excuse me, with it however you're doing it. I borrowed this template from another teacher, and she was calling it annotated works cited. I've been calling it annotated bibliography, but just be consistent. It's the same thing. It doesn't really matter. And then you're going to write your introductory paragraph here for, not your introduction for your essay, but this is the introduction for your annotated works cited or your annotated bibliography. I'm going to share a document with you where I actually wrote a sample paragraph for you so you can see how I did it and use that as a model. I believe in modeling for students, so you don't and not just telling you to go do it, but this gives you what is to be included in that paragraph. And then you're going to have something that looks like repetition here, but instead of your research topic, you're going to replace it with your goal and a colon and annotated works cited right before you start making your entries. And so this just shows you how it works. The MLA citation starts here. Some people, and I have done a bit of research on this looking for the answer, and there is no the answer. I even spoke with my colleagues here at Nash Community College, and they were doing it different ways. So the paragraph, the annotation here, is lined up with the indented part of the hanging indent of the citation. I have also seen it just as many times and in just as many examples lined up over here with the hanging out part of the citation. So as long as you're consistent, if you do it this way for the first one, make sure you do it that way for everyone. And if you line it up over here, then make sure you do the same thing for everything. So getting your format correct in this is going to be part of your 20 points that you're going to get from the very first part of the rubric, the grading rubric. Okay, so it's just a matter of following directions, making sure everything is done the way it should be, because you want this to look like an educated college student wrote this, and you want it to reflect the educated college student that you are. So then this document that is on the middle page is the sample evaluative annotated bibliography introduction paragraph. I could not find one anywhere. Our Little Seagull Handbook did not have one in there. I looked on the Purdue Online Writing Lab, the OWL, and I could not find one on there either. I searched the internet and I could not find one. And I did find some examples that were for a different kind of annotated bibliography than what we were doing, but I couldn't find anything that was similar to what we're doing. So I wrote one myself, and that's why it has my name on it this time. And see, I did add the page number with my name up there because it does turn out to be more than one page. So you want it to automatically page number just like your essays do. All right, so there's my title with annotated bibliography there. Actually, I left off my colon, so let's put that colon on there. And there's my introductory paragraph. And here's what I have. An explanation or overview of the topic. One of the problems that is a worldwide issue is the inequality of women. In order to help solve this and other global issues, the United Nations established 17 global goals. Goal 5 was developed to help eliminate gender inequality. Researching online for Core Project 4, Problem Solution Persuasive Essay for English 111, that's my assignment. You can put that in yours too, so that somebody reading this will know what in the world you're doing with this annotated bibliography. That's why we have this little introduction. So in researching for that assignment, the following sources were found that give vital information that will be used in the essay. And then I list in the rest of the sentence after the colon just stands for and here they are. I list the titles of the articles that I found, the web pages that I found my information on, and then I have put from which authority I got it behind each one. So here's my first one. Goal 5, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls from UN.org, comma, gender equality from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Sustainable Development Agenda from the UN.org, and finally, Women Health Issues, Reproductive Health and Rights from the Global Fund for Women.org. These sources have been determined to be reliable sources for a college academic research assignment. Some of the articles give background information, and some give information to support solutions for helping the problem. Now, I don't want you to copy what I wrote, but use this as a model. Put it in your own words. And so you're just going to give an overview of the topic. You're going to list what your sources are in the annotated bibliography, and you're going to state again how you're using this in your assignment. I could have put my next part right under that, but it was showing up with a weird break in the page, so I created a page break and just started this on the next page. It really depends on how your formatting works out, how you want to do it, but I thought it looked better to do this. So here I have the UN Global Goal 5, Achieve Gender Equality and Empower All Women and Girls, colon, and annotated bibliography. And then here is the one that I used in this slideshow that I showed you, Goal 5. Again, you can use some of my language for how I know that the United Nations is a good source to trust and use. And then you'll put in, of course, your own summary for the goal that you're working on, and then how does it help you in the research paper that you're working on. And so feel free to borrow some of my words there if you want to. I give you permission to do that. And but for the rest of them, you're going to have to come up with your own words, because I put, like, right under that, you'll come in with the next entry, and then you'll have a paragraph of annotation for that one too. So I just showed you how the next entry would come into focus there. I did not do that paragraph for you. You're going to have to do the paragraphs on your own, but feel free to use my model that I've given you. So with all of this, you should be able to complete your annotated bibliography. And the graded assignment for this week then is here on this Turnitin link. Turn in your final annotated bibliography here. Of course, I'm going to change the wording here. This was something from my Monday night class, and I'll fix it to make it appropriate for you. But before Sunday night at midnight, you're going to finish this Core Project 3 annotated bibliography, and we'll have it out of the way. Hopefully, you'll use those sources that you found for your research paper for Core Project 4. But you do not have to. If you find better sources as you're continuing to research and work on getting your notes together for the research essay, then you do not have to use these. You will have to use that first one that I gave you, because that's the origin of all this research that you're doing, the Global Goals page. But other than that, if you find something much better that you decide you want to use later on for your works cited page on your research paper, you do not have to stick with these sources that you got for the annotated bibliography. But hopefully that got you researching and finding information and gave you a good start. Remember, do your very best on this. Make sure your formatting is good for this, and make sure that you thoroughly annotate based on what the assignment asks you to do and based on the model that I gave you for doing it. Remember, this counts 20% of your course grade, so this is an important grade. This counts just as much as the big research paper that we'll be finishing up in the next few weeks. So have a good week working on this. If you have any questions, contact me and I will be glad to help you. And if not, I will see you next time.